I think it's really positive for people to have a safe look at what's actually going on out there instead of just being terrified of it, you know, or something, right? So being involved in it is the most important part. Finding the problems is really key too, instead of just skirting around everything all the time, and never seeing any avalanche activity isn't really good either, right? Like you don't even know what you're up against, right? So it seems like over the years it gets better and better on here, where a lot of what I'm seeing out there is really close to what I'm seeing on here is in years past, you know, with less information and less people contributing maybe, but you know, and that the correlation can kind of vary sometimes, you know, but that's why you're checking it for yourself as well and cataloging things. And you can see here we've got, you know, it's actually really quite a stable snowpack right now, which has been good. With that big dry spell that we had in January, it's we're pretty blessed to still have it pretty solid. So
we've had times where it said that it was mild avalanche conditions, and we went out there and we thought that, or felt that, things were moving a lot more. And that can be an isolated thing. So really, regardless of what you see on the internet, you still need to go out and do your own analysis, you know, and learn. So, you know, we're still learning. I mean, you could be in this for several lifetimes and still there's always a different snowpack, a different scenario, different weather pattern that'll create something that you've never seen before. Our weather models, they're really good, but it's still computer generated, so it's super important to go out there and you have to look at it and verify it. Make your own notes or whatever and compare them, and if you have something that's different when they have than the Avalanche Canada, you can actually submit that info, which is really pretty cool, because then it just helps the entire snowmobile community, or everybody for that matter. You can never have too much information.
Some single file, or?
I think just space out a little bit, and one could go through the middle, one kind of cuts to the right, and one kind of cuts to the left, you know?
Let's lay some powder. You know, up here, there's definitely lots of wind scoured and wind blown. As long as the guy stays on top of the ridge lines, you know, and benches all the way up, you can really keep out of, you know, harm's way, or minimize it for sure. But there's definitely some spots where it's tight, you know, and we want to go through those one at a time, just space out. Sound good?
yeah, sounds good.
So we'll roll through this and then...
Yeah, I'll probably zip through this pretty fast, and then I'll bench up, not on top of this first one, but just on that second one. Kind of where the blue sky meets the very top tier and the second bump kind of converge. I'll try and come out right there.
I'd be wary of those rocks that you're looking at that are buried about 6 inches deep.
Yeah. Me, G Snow, sit off to the side on that shoulder then.
Like on the second ridge, you mean?
Just where that wind lip, that little wind curl is there, you can see it just up, just to the left.
I was going to come down inside of that.
Okay, yeah.
That's my thought process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I collect the rocks right as I went in even.
And a lot of people don't think about the sun, you know, especially at time of day, you know, end of March, sun's beating down on some southwest facing slope. Heats it up, you have a big variance in temperature, and that's where big failures happen, you know, or it has potentials to step down because the snowpack's getting so heavy. It releases and it might go down 1, 2, 3 old layers, and that's where you really run into the big scary stuff. We'll take notes before we leave. You know, if we have anything that looks like it might be problematic, write it down in your guidebook. And then we just keep track of it, and then you go out there and verify if it was right or not. Sometimes these can be really close, and then sometimes there can be off a fair bit. It's like the more you learn about it, the more you realize that you don't know. So really, just good practice to try and figure it out, you know, and be educated.